Welcome to our Connect Talk session. And this session, we have the pleasure of Liz joining us. And it's going to be centered around the theme of Philippines as a luxury travel destination. And the session dives into and showcases the unique ways the country caters to the luxury travel market. And Liz, a wonderful speaker, many of you have probably met now. In June 2023, Liz was appointed Managing Director of Asia Pacific and Senior Advisor to the CEO for the World Travel and Tourism Council, where she continues to do advocacy for responsible travel and best practices across the sector. And for 2 years before WTTC, Liz was the first female and second Asian CEO of PATA in 70 years and spent 18 years at Amex. So we were in very good hands. And with over 25 years of experience in various industries, including pharmaceuticals, digital startups, payments, and most recently in travel and tourism, we're going to hear some very interesting insights indeed. So with that, it's my pleasure to welcome Liz. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Sam. And I'm just going to add one very critical detail. I am 100% Filipina, heart and heritage. So funny thing is, people, because of my accent, I was born in the US, and so people don't realize I'm Filipina, so I make a point of telling them because I'm very proud of that. And I will say that, you know, this has given me, over the last 25 years in particular, this has given me a unique perspective because I've seen it from so many different angles. I've been a corporate travel leader. I've been, you know, I piloted a travel social enterprise and I brought students into poor communities. I've been I'm an expat, but I'm also a local. So I see it from all these different perspectives, and and one thing I'll say about the Philippines is it's this incredible diamond in the rough. And it can really shine. It has all the ingredients for amazing travel experiences, yes, in nature, but in other ways as well. And so it has all these amazing elements for luxury travel experiences, however you define it. And we're going to talk about that a bit more later. So travel at its best. I'm going to start with macro and kind of high level, take you into trends, talk a little bit about cultural lessons, and then we'll talk about luxury travel to ideate it. Now that's a lot. I'm going to give you a lot. I'm going to take you through a lot of information, but you're going to have the benefit of my deck because I want you to go back and look at it because it'll be your resource for ideas. So for the traveler, what are the benefits from a great experience? Everybody here in the room is passionate about travel. We know what a great experience can do. Yes, relaxation. Yes, it's a break, but it can also educate. It can bring down barriers. It can give you great cultural experiences, personal development. We all believe in that. So now, one of the big trends is rounding out that experience. And what does it do for the destination? For a destination, it can be, especially in a developing nation, it's transformational. Now, we know that travel can go overboard or it can go in the wrong direction. And the people in this room, you are amazing stewards for guiding, you know, how good or bad that impact can be on the locals, on the destination, on the travelers. So I don't know if any of you have, you know, if you haven't seen it already, there's a great movie called The Last Tourist. Look for it on YouTube. And it will give examples of when travel has gone a bit awry. So we are designers and we are experienced designers and we can guide it to that path towards more positive. So what is travel? Travel can be an incredible economic engine. It's a creator of jobs, an engine for growth, and it can lift people out of poverty, especially in destinations like the Philippines. It's an engine for that. And I've seen amazing best practices too in terms of animal conservation, in terms of preservation of culture. You know, when it's done right, it can actually revive and really lift a country up. So as WTTC, we publish every year our, hallmark statistics on economic impact. We're able to capture both the direct and the indirect benefit of travel. So for the Philippines, yes, finally, 2024, we have recovered to 2019 levels. And so this has been the benchmark for the industry, is when can we get back to, the level we were at before? And so we've reached that finally this year. For 2034, globally, we project growth in our industry, particularly in Asia. And so, I think actually, when I look at these numbers, I actually think, I'm more optimistic. I think they're conservative. Because one thing that was really a standout for me is if you look at the visitor spend, the two right, international spend is a fraction of domestic spend, which to me is surprising. So in a more mature travel market like Thailand, it's the opposite. 85% is international spend. So here it's only 15%, which to me says, okay, our international economic value is far underdeveloped. So there's an opportunity there because we know international spenders can spend a lot. And jobs creation, this is really critical. So Philippines, this highlights how important we are to the economy. 22% of the GDP is from travel and tourism. 22% of the total jobs. By comparison, the US is 10%, 10% or so. So this is super important. We also know there's a huge diaspora. Philippines has the biggest diaspora, one of the biggest diasporas in the world. So we're exporting a lot of talent that is supporting the industry in other countries as well. Industry trends. So this is meant to give you some ideas and creativity. Sustainability and social responsibility. I've seen a huge transformation in Asia in the last 2 years. Number one, destination management. Our new motto here in the Philippines is love the Philippines. And what's really important about that is it doesn't just talk about the traveler, it talks about the destination. So us in the industry, we need to love the destination. We need to care for the destination, as well as entertain the traveler and engage them. So destination management is a big trend across all governments in the region. How can they're not just marketing. Tourism boards are not just marketing and selling. Someone's taking responsibility for, is it a healthy form of travel? Community-based travel. Are we doing good in the community? How are we giving back? And I see the big hotel chains doing this. Big or small, this is something you should consider in designing your experiences because destinations want it, travelers love it, and it's important. Sustainability and design and practices, bringing sustainability at the onset. I've been speaking in hotel investment conferences, and for the first time in the last year or so, they're considering this already. So whether you're, a mature property or you're just planning one, that's important. And I say in practice, this is super critical. Customers want to see it, governments want to see it, and we've got corporates have goals. We all need to do it for the betterment of the planet. So what I'm seeing in the last 18 months is holistically in Asia, everyone's on board with this. We know it's important and we know we need to do it. And government commitments. So that's important. So one thing I'm going to share really quick is WTTC. I'm here also this week. I'll be in Makati launching a hotel sustainability basics program. And for all the hoteliers in the room, this is meant to help you get started in sustainability. So it's like a 12 measures. The highest level of certification is 42. But we've identified, working with the industry, 12 measures to get you started. So after this presentation, I'm sending all of you, through our kind organizers, a deck that gives you the basics. And so what we're looking for is a pledge from all the hospitality community in the Philippines to support this. And what it gives you is a globally recognized verification that you've reached this level, and it's recognized across, we've deployed in 73 countries. 12 measures, you'll get more details. I'm going to move forward since I've only got 15 minutes. Food, huge trend. What's relevant to us? Global awareness of Asian flavors. So never before has the interest been so piqued about Asian flavors and ingredients. And you'll see it in all the cooking shows. Particularly, right now, for example, Korea is trending. But second trend, Philippine cuisine is on the rise. The recognition of the heritage cooking as well as the more elevated gourmet level. I travel east, west, many cities. Top two, two of the top restaurants in Seattle, Filipino. Last week, I just dined with Asia's best. She was voted Asia's top female chef 2023, Filipina in Singapore. So, we have, and here, Manila is Michelin ready. There's some top gourmet restaurants there where you can have 10, 12 course tasting menus. So you can do a gourmet tour into Manila. And the amazing thing is, and chefs will tell me, Western chefs will tell me they love Filipino cuisine because it brings together East-West. Brings together Mexico, Spain, Philippines, Asia. And so we're the one cuisine that can bring that global crossroads together. Celebrating heritage cooking. This is a trend globally. The curiosity, and now people are very intellectually interested in heritage cooking and the ingredients. Sustainable sourcing. The experience economy, from eclipse watching to music festivals. Here in the Philippines, one of the most astounding experiences I had is when I was here for Good Friday in Manila. This incredible procession. You can come, we've got so many festivals across this country that, can support this interest that people have. So it's not just about, the pop music. And, I live in Singapore, and Taylor Swift came and performed, no joke, 10 minutes away from my home. But, and so that's a big draw. But in general, experiences, whether they're cultural or music or gastronomic, that's a big focus. Immersive, authentic travel. The number one word that I hear come up in luxury is authentic. Authentic interactions with people, authentic cultural experiences. So creative travel experiences. We've all been doing these creative travel experiences when you defined as when you engage the traveler in doing something actively. It can be a dance, it can be a cooking class, it can be a craft. And research shows that they post 8 times more when you have them doing something like that. Community-based tourism, heritage-based, spiritual and religious tourism. Actually, here in the Philippines, we have some of the similar experiences and expertise, I'll say, that you might find in Bali, but it's not marketed that way. Some of the best meditation class I've taken has been here in the Philippines. So this is deeply rooted in our culture, but it's not marketed and served up particularly. Ensuring a sense of place in hospitality. So this is an important trend. How many of you have woken up in a hotel room and you could be anywhere? Or you've stayed in a hotel and you could be anywhere? So sense of place. People can stay home and do a staycation in a hotel in their city. So give them a reason to appreciate and come to your country and show that. Eat local, tour local, spend local. More and more, this is important for multiple reasons. More and more governments are going to be looking at what contribution, is this traveler, how is this traveler or this industry contributing to our community? And you need to find ways to support the local vendors, the local shops, the local cuisine, to make sure that, your tourism benefits the society. blended travel, corporate travel. This, I think, honestly, is one of the under-leveraged opportunities. You know, travelers coming into Manila, I've had friends go into Manila and tell me when they describe their experience to me, they had no single interaction with the culture. Right? And so that, I think, is, and when I talk about, so there are multiple, when I talk about blended travel, it's all different forms. It can be the digital nomad. It can be the Filipino American coming in to visit family and working part-time. Or it can be the corporate visitor who's flown in for 3 days. Will they stay over another day or two? So you've got a whole spectrum of opportunity. Or you can, you could have a corporate travel that comes in and has such a great experience, they want to bring their family back in. So, I mean, this is there's a term, bird in the hand. You've got someone in hand who you can cross-sell to and bring more tourism dollars into the country if you win them over. And so that journey should start even when they make their booking, you can start cross-selling to them, experiences, dining out, There needs to be more information given to the travelers that come in on how they can experience the country. So this is wellness. I'm seeing all kinds of forms of wellness, biohacking retreats, wellness optimized hotels. I stayed in one hotel that promised that the decibel of noise in each room would stay below a certain level. The same hotel also made sure there are air purifiers in every room, and it showed in the lobby what is the air quality. So all different types of ways that you can deliver on this product. Asian spiritual wellness goes mainstream. This one to me is really intriguing because the combination of Western and Eastern modalities. There are, I've seen sound healing in the last year go mainstream. It's promoted even in Singapore, and this is something that, there are ancient remedies and expertise in Asia that is getting deployed across the region and beyond. Soft adventure experiences. This one's interesting to me. I attended the first adventure travel and tourism conference in Asia, and it was hosted in Japan. And, part of our discussion was about if you're a Westerner, and this is, I grew up in the US. When I was a child, I would go hunting, camping, fishing, hiking. For a lot of Asians, they didn't grow up like that. So, you weren't, so there are a lot of Asians that would approach adventure, are interested, especially post-COVID, in more nature-based interest, adventure, but it needs to be soft adventure. And, one other element I'll highlight, I think globally, we know that majority of time, the decision maker on leisure travel is the woman. And Asian women don't worship the sun. They hide from the sun. So how can you create experiences to attract Asian female travelers or decision makers, that are more, that don't involve lying out in the sun because they just don't do it. So you need to give them other ways, as a resort, you need to give them other ways to be entertained, whether it's food or spa or, something, shaded hikes, something. Just consider that. So what are the authentic elements of Filipino culture that we would love visitors to experience? Because this is a key selling point. Respect for elders. This country had the longest partial shutdown in the world, and I do believe it's because of this. We have multi-generational homes, and people wanted to protect their elders. So it's deeply, deeply ingrained. Kapwa, I have to admit, this word, I only learned it about a week ago. But when I saw what it meant, it made complete sense to me. This is what we've been living and breathing, since I was a child. So, and this is why when visitors come, you're immediately, it's not you and them. It's actually, you're kind of embraced as part of the community and as part of the family. Bayanihan, no one gets left behind. Community. This is why you'll see this is such a strong, resilient culture, you know, in the face of adversity, you know, because people know, you know, that they're in it together. They support each other. Globally recognized hospitality from the heart. I have had travel leaders and ministers from Saudi to Singapore tell me they wish they had more Filipinos, you know, and my wish is that we continue to develop the industry here at home so more of them stay home and we become the center of excellence here for hospitality. Global crossroads cuisine. This is another interesting learning, knowing that the cuisine here is so unique and it brings together East and West. There's a whole gourmet tour that could be done just on this theme, engaging chefs from Mexico, Spain, Philippines. And it would be fascinating. Laughter and musicality. We saw it last night. If anyone leaves the Philippines on a visit and you haven't experienced live music and song, you haven't been here, right? This is a key part. So make sure this is integrated to your experiences. So how can the Philippines attract more luxury travel? I listed a few things, and these are very immediate tactical things that I think should be problem solved that can help us do this. 1, celebrate Filipino culture and values. Now this seems like a no-brainer, but honestly, too many travelers that I know have come into Manila and not experienced the culture at all. It's very westernized. And I think, you know, how can we restore, you know, and I know TBB, Marga and Secretary Christina, they're doing a great job in terms of profiling the beautiful clothing and the indigenous weaves. You know, things like that. We need, you know, it's hard to, it sits in museums and it sits in intramuros in Manila, but it's not actually integrated. You don't see it in BGC, right? So how can we bring Filipino culture closer to the traveler, even if they're just there for 2 days? Market Manila experiences. It's not that I find, without having my personal contacts, I don't know where to find information about the top 10 restaurants right now in Manila, or the top 5 music venues and what's playing this week. You know, I think this is opportunity. And so, you know, having more, so this is a matter of like serving up the information and making it more readily available to the travelers that come in. Engage business travelers, as I mentioned. Smooth transfers. Manila right now is considered like a pain point, and I do think that it's like a restriction. But, you know, smooth transfers, this is a challenge in many Asian cities. But, you know, the experience in Manila, so for example, many of you coming in here had to do a night stay in Manila. Singapore is only 3 hours away, and I had to do the same thing. So how can you make that Manila stopover a great part of the experience? So think about your traveler's experience, not just from when they arrive at your island destination, but from door to door. Build and make the stopover in Manila more of a positive versus an inconvenience. I think that's really critical. I've heard decision makers, you know, I've heard travelers say, oh, should I go Thailand, Manila, Indonesia? And they'll nix Philippines because of the transit in Manila. That's very often. So we have to solve that and turn it into a positive. I see heads nodding. Yes. Sun-protected activities, I mentioned. Market the Philippines' strengths. Global crossroads cuisine and Spanish cuisine. Premium live music venues and nightclubs. I have had better nightclub, live music club experiences here in the Philippines than in Singapore. But when I ask my colleagues, I've asked 20, 30 people over the last month, where would you go? Where is the capital for live music in Southeast Asia? I either get I don't know, or they say Bangkok. We have the raw talent here, right? I mean, globally, this is our brand. So people should be flying here for live music. Warm hospitality. Like I mentioned, this is what we're globally recognized for. So we're going to do a live poll. So, you know, when I was talking with Sam about the theme of this conference, and as several of you, people define luxury in many different ways, especially now. The definition of luxury has been evolving, you know, especially post-COVID, which is very interesting. So we're going to do a live poll right now and ask you, how do you define luxury? So as you put in your inputs, it's going to show up on the screen live. Freedom, authentic experiences, bespoke. Bespoke meaning personalized, customized, exclusive, comfort, yes. Memorable experiences, endless pampering. Authentic experiences, ease of living, great service. Interesting. Permission to indulge yourself, freedom. See service come out in a couple of different ways. Service from the heart, relax, authentic, tailor-made, personal me time. No Wi-Fi, that's funny. Basic power of being positive, laid back, perfect, high class, understanding tourism complex. Ease of living, pampered, hassle-free. Inclusive, exclusive. Those are two interesting concepts. Memorable experiences, comfort, private, immersion. Interesting. So luxury has many dimensions, right? Okay, so I'm going to share, this is one, you know, I had several sources. I just took this one example from Tatler Asia, and they call it neo-luxury lifestyle. Puts more emphasis on experiences, meaning, and personal fulfillment. A desire for balance in lifestyle, health, wellness, and well-being, and sustainable living. And so one of the concepts I'll just close on here is sustainability. I don't believe sustainability by itself sells, but if you have sustainability principles and your product is great and it's linked into like well-being, that's what customers want. You know, holistic well-being for themselves, for the destination that they're visiting. So I do think that if it's integrated into a great product, you know, that's how it sells. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Sam, and he's going to introduce our workshop.
Thank you, Liz. Big round of applause for Liz so far. Very interesting insights. And we're going to take this next half of the session to actually explore those a bit more together, but a bit more get you active, get things happening. So on your tables, you'll see two colors. Don't be scared. So these colors represent if you're a supplier or a buyer. Now, suppliers, you are green. Suppliers, grab a green bit of paper. Okay, good. We found the right color. So on the board, you've got a question here. Part one, here it comes. And the question for the suppliers, we would like you, is how does your product cater to the luxury travel market? Very simple question. And then buyers, you have orange on your tables, hopefully. Give that a little wave. Less enthusiasm. There we go. We've got the buyers. So buyers, the question you're going to be answering is, what do your clients need from the Philippines? Now, what we want to use as the basis for this is the key trends that Liz has discussed. So that's authenticity, community, wellness, experiences, blended travel, and food. So suppliers, the task is within your product, within your business, how are you sort of catering towards these within your product. And then buyers, does anything resonate with your clients around what do you need? What is maybe the Philippines missing? What could we learn from your clients? And then the task is, once you've written on your pieces of paper, there are pencils in the little boxes as well if you haven't got anything. So there's boxes on your tables. Write something down, and then individually, there is little fish bowls here on top. So what we want you to do is come up. There's a green on the right and an orange on the left, if I'm looking at it from behind. And then it has the right person written on it as well. So what we want to do is come on up and put your little answers in there, and then we'll see what you guys come up with. So we'll give you a few minutes to write down, and then just comment up when you're ready. And we've got a hand in the air. Should I come over? It could be anonymous if you want. Yes, it doesn't matter. Okay, we'll put some music on in the background and give you a few minutes to have a think. And just come on up whenever you've written down something. Thank you. The bowls are filling up. Who's going to fill the bowl first? That's the challenge. Okay, right, we're making our way back to the seats. I think we've got a good lot here. We're not going to be able to read them all out, obviously, but we will be giving a few and see how maybe you are the same or maybe you're very different apart. So everyone do take your seats. Okay, so I've got here the buyers, and Liz, you'll be the suppliers. Okay. We may need to walk away from the speaker slightly. Okay, let's bring our bowls over here. So, we'll go for the supplier question first. We're going to pick it random, so hopefully you've all been sensible answers. Liz, we'll read one out and see. Oh, it's a good one. It's long.
I need my glasses. I can't read this.
I'll do this one.
Read this.
Okay, I will try and read. Hang on. Provide the authentic. Hang on. Where are you? You might have to translate for me on the words. I think I know who it is. Where I've got the name on the top. Anyway, I'll try and give it a go. Okay. Otherwise, we'll come back to it once I've given it another go. We provide diverse culinary experiences, having 6 refreshments in the hotel. Hotels can both cater to leisure and business travel. Okay, so yes, so provide the authentic experiences, Filipino experiences, and provide a diverse culinary experience. That's the first one. We'll go for a buyer as a...
Okay.
A buyer. So what their clients needing? Seamless connectivity, tourist boards, coming to the city. I think that's what it says. I should have realized my dyslexia would have not helped this.
He might be dyslexic, and I'm like, I've got old age, like, I need my reading glasses. Okay. Our products provide unique and personalized experiences to the right community through customized activities.
Okay, I've got a buy here. The authenticity is very unique, but many people, it's not very familiar. So it's great when the locals having more experiences and introduce the Philippines. However, the experiences, we have to think about the guests that won't be the sun and the hot weather. So that's quite interesting about not all activities out in the sun, but can we bring more inside? That's something we spoke about, actually.
Okay, so this is a supplier. Comfort, they offer comfort, sustainability, memorable experiences, value for money, culture.
Okay. And a buyer, what do they need? High-level service for luxury travelers, the ability to be flexible and respond to demands, creative experiences that basic tourists can do, and exclusive access. Very interesting.
A supplier. Apart from high-end facilities and five-star service, we showcase and serve our guests with heart.
Very nice. And we'll do one more here. So again, it's all about direct connectivity. I think that's important. We've brought out the transport. It's about, that's something that we can maybe work on together and to begin with, but also wellness, experiences, food, bringing that as the heart of the Philippines. And then there's good to see that there's actually the hotels or the products highlighting some of those key experiences that we said, but then also there's some few key points that the buyers are kind of very similar on, and we're going to be putting all these together, so we'll actually have everything that we've written down that you can see afterwards. But what we want to do now is explore that a little bit further, actually together, and then we're going to pick on a few groups. So you have your table numbers, and it's going to come up on the screen, part 2. So this is your chance to explore together and actually work on understanding what are the needs from the buyers and the suppliers, how you're catering, and how potentially you can bring those worlds together more and find solutions and ideas to bring both sides closer together and build that relationship. So we've got the key themes there. So tables 1 to 6, you're going to be looking at the authenticity. What are buyers looking for from a authenticity point of view, and suppliers, how does your product do that, but also how can you bring the gap together? Same with tables 7 to 12. You're going to be looking at community. Table 13 to 18, you'll be looking at wellness. Tables 19 to 24, you'll be on experiences. And then tables 25 to 30, you'll be on the blended travel. And then tables 31 to 36, you'll be on food. So we'll give you about 5 or so minutes to have a discussion together with your pairs. And then we're going to pick on some tables at random to hear what you've been discussing about those key subjects in your groups. Hopefully that makes clear, and we'll be wandering around if it hasn't made sense. Thank you.
If you have any questions or you want input, just raise your hand and one of us will come over.
And everyone is still talking. So if everyone listens, I'm going to be coming around to all the groups. So do pick a spokesperson who is going to be your person who has shared the wisdom that you've all been discussing. So quickly pick a spokesperson, and we are going to come round. Okay, so I'm going to come to the authenticity group. Is this still this group over here? Authenticity? Okay, Di, we're off. Okay. Authenticity group. I hope everyone's listening. Okay. Authenticity. We're going to give you 1 minute 1 minute to share your wisdom from what you learned to what you discussed.
Okay, for authenticity, okay, so for authenticity, it's really incorporating the culture that you have Filipino food, if you're doing spa services, that they're treatments that are unique to the Philippines, that you are tapping into services and experiences that are specific to the Philippines, and that you're also highlighting the warmth that's here. And you're doing it with a high level of service. I mean, this is such a beautiful country. I mean, my read in the short time that I've been here for the first time ever is that this is really a country that is so warm, and that you also bring that out. And I think that that's part of being authentic. Did I get everything? Okay.
Thank you. Liz, anything to...
Yeah, and that's great. I'll just build on that a little bit from one astute comment that I heard from a visitor this event, and they said, you know, when they come into when they engage with staff that have been trained by perhaps a global or regional chain, they're trained on protocols, but the hotel needs to make sure that they're also letting that person be their authentic Filipino self. You know, so that it's not, so it's this balance between consistency and operational quality and humanity, and being, letting that shine through. And the beauty of the Philippines, as one of the GMs told me, is that you don't have to really train people to smile. They do it naturally, and they welcome you naturally. So let their humanity come out, and it's those little conversations, like, just talk, whatever it is, spontaneous conversations. So, finding the balance between that authenticity and the operational excellence.
If it's 10 seconds.
that if you're a global brand, that people want to stay at the Peninsula or the Shangri-La, that if you're a global brand, that you are really integrating your hotel in the culture. So you're not just waking up anywhere in the world and it doesn't matter, but that you make it really specific to being here.
Thank you very much, team. Authenticity. Right, over to community. Who's our speaker? Is it you?
Hi, good morning. I'm Leilani, and I came from Discovery Samal. It's part of the Discovery Hospitality brand. We are a Filipino hospitality brand. Our theme is service that is all the heart. So how do we integrate community in our properties? For example, I came from Samal, so Davao region. As you know, I'm representing Davao right now. We have 11 tribes, and whenever we have incentive groups coming into our property, we set up artisan exhibitions from the local designers in Davao to introduce to them what Davao region can offer. Apart from that, as a Filipino hospitality brand, our turn-down services focuses on local delicacies. What else? From Crimson, another Filipino hospitality brand.
Okay, so for us, we have local delicacies to welcome the guests, right? And then a portion of our revenue goes to the local tribes. So that's also part of us. And then in addition to that, we also have this package wherein instead of using motorboats, we promote a bike tour in the island, wherein the guide is local, and then of course the emission is less, right? So that's also part of our program. Yeah.
Also to add in, for example, welcome for our guests. So we use the local talents within Samal Island. So that supports also the economy of Samal Island, the community.
Thank you very much, team community. Because of time, we're going to keep going round to the next group. Where's wellness? Okay, we've got 1 minute max.
Can I have some chill house music while I talk about wellness. Okay, so from the buyer's perspective, so wellness is a very general, very broad concept, a little bit like luxury. It's gotten very broad, but one of the things that was mentioned was wellness involves all the five senses. It's not just about a spa. It's not just about a massage. And aside from the five senses, wellness is a state of mind. So aside from the excellent spa services, it was touched on by the authenticity group, focused and targeted with what is uniquely Filipino, because we're rich in that culturally as well, but also the experience as a whole. So not just focusing wellness on spa services, massages, treatments, but we have a lot of potential for retreats where it's a full experience. You go out on an island camping, you go out to a secluded area up a mountain, and then you work in the rest of the wellness experiences. So from a DMC perspective, it's putting it all together as a whole thing. It's peace of mind.
Thank you very much, Team Wellness. Right, we're going to come to experiences. Is it over here? Over here. Okay, I'm getting my steps in. Who's the speaker? Is it Tiffany?
Had it 30. I got a minute. Oh, which means I have a minute. Okay, so when it comes to experiences, we really are going to just talk about the luxury traveler because that's where we're at. But basically, I loved some of the things my team brought up, which was really focusing also on the diversity of the traveler, even though, for instance, the Philippines is a tropical destination, that not all travelers maybe want to be in the water, on the water, and like what other experiences can you really have while on land that give them a fulfilling, memorable trip as well. One of my partners and teammates said, that the hardware matches the software. So if you're a luxury property, and I really like this, if you're a luxury property, that it all reaches the same level, that you could have a great contemporary design or a beautiful five-star property, but that the software, which is the staff, the back of house, the front of house, it matches as well in that level of service and luxury. And just one more focus would be on the overall experience and accessibility offerings, and that comes with probably infrastructure. And I know for once, if you can have access to helicopters, yachts, and all of that, that may need to grow a little bit as you build on bringing in more luxury travelers from all over the world, and just continuing to grow that aspect of infrastructure and operations. I think you'll be great. And just more authenticity in your experiences, not just something you can find on Viator, but make it special. Boom, done.
We can always count on you, Tiffany. Okay. Blended travel. Have we got anyone who wants to speak? Where is blended travel? Okay. Okay. We'll give you 30 seconds as well.
Hi, hello. Okay. So we discussed a couple of things with our team. Blended is pretty general. So we did go to work. We were talking about work. How can we blend also different intergenerational families and things like that? And at the end, we agreed that what was most important, I think, for what we were looking for as blended travelers would be integrating. So this is building off everybody as well, integrating fully the Filipino culture when you come here. So yes, it's luxury. Yes, I'm coming on the beach and I'm going to relax. But there should be an option where you immerse yourself fully into the culture of what the Filipinos are, and not necessarily for food. We were saying maybe it's something about tribes, so something that comes close to what Leilani was saying, where there was also an option for us to see in the activities a tribe, to see them at work and maybe do things like that. Like Ati-Atihan was something a lot of us really appreciated because we really saw what the Filipino was as a people in a community, because everything came out of that. So in blended travel, we were saying there, it's not just relaxation and sand. We really have to also be able to see things about this country through the people. Correct? Yes. It's correct? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Blended Travel. And now I think it's fitting that we're ending on food because we're just before lunch. So food, tell us all what we've got here.
Yeah, I have feelings all the time. We are eating here. But as a foodie people, we want to reach the heart of the travelers through the stomach. That's why our project will be based on the 5 elements. First, we will conduct the cultural awareness and restrictions to understand the travelers coming from which group. Then we will create and we will design the dishes and menu based on the ingredients that matching the groups. And we will use traditional and local recipe. Then we will create one national dish, but as I understood well, each region using different spices, correct? So that dish will be developed in different way for each region, represent the tradition. Then as a final, we will decorate them, blending with the local arts. So it will be more about storytelling. And as a final, we will create top 5 dishes. It will be like testing experience, again, representing different region of the Philippines. So everyone can find something for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good insights from everyone there. That is the end of our session. Liz, the wonderful Liz, a big round of applause again. Liz will be with us all day, all night, and then so if you do want to have any questions or anything you need, please find Liz. As she shared earlier, we will be sending across the doc in this video as well, so you can rewatch everything, and there'll be some important information coming to the suppliers' emails this afternoon as well. So now is lunch. So we are in the Saffron, which is just out here on the right. It's 1 hour and a half, finishes at 2:30. You've got set seating, so do make sure you check all of your meeting plans to know where you're sat. And we'll reconvene. So, oh, sorry, one more time.
No.
Liz has one thing to say.
First, I would just say thank you for the energy and the creativity in the room. What I would say is this collection of people is magical. So continue your conversations about this, because we can create amazing things. We've got all the ingredients in the Philippines to have amazing experiences. We just need to connect the dots and put it together. And you guys are the maestros. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Lovely.